Hi everyone, I hope all of you guys are doing well. So we will continue our learning journey together. Today I'm going to talk about number one, the process of learning in UPSC, which is important, more important than the outcomes. Number two, I'm going to talk about how in UPSC you're going to face a curve like this for a long time, a flat curve where you're not learning much, and suddenly that curve will spike eventually, and that is when you will see the progress. So wait for it, be patient about your UPSC journey. And number three, I'm going to talk about why the process, the preparation process is more important than the outcomes, and how you can focus on that preparation process instead of thinking too much about the outcome. So all these things I'm going to talk about in the class today. Hope you enjoy it and learn something from it and use it in your UPSC preparation. See, a lot of times us aspirants, even me when I was an aspirant, we keep focusing on one thing, which is the outcome. What rank I'm going to get in the UPSC exam, what all India rank I will have, and all the the adulation I will get after achieving that rank. And then we think about the fact that once I clear the UPSC exam, I will be at Labasana, I will be an IAS or IPS officer. However, we forget many times, it gets out of our mind, that more important than winning, more important than that imagining about what you are going to have after the exam process is in fact the whole preparation process, the preparation process, the preparation strategy, the preparation time, the time you are spending studying, and how you are studying, what kind of things you are learning from that studying, how you are absorbing the material, how smart you are being about your hard work is what actually ends up mattering more than anything else. All the motivation, in fact, motivation is very overrated. The process is what is quite underrated. In fact, I was reading this book and I came across very interesting lines that I wanted to share with you, which is very important. I also posted this on Twitter the other day. Knowledge is overrated, wisdom is underrated, intellect is overrated, temperament is underrated. So see the depth of this, the way of looking at this. Nowadays, in this world of social media, in this world where we are mostly focused on superficial things, we are not focusing on things that are important. We are just focusing on too much information. We are focusing on what we are seeing in front of us, the image of being successful that is being created in front of us. A lot of you look at reels made about IAS, IPS officers, but in reality, the work is tough. When you are actually there, there is a lot of important decisions you have to make, which gets very tricky, and you have to learn how to face that. So through all that, your exam preparation will only help you, because you will get the temperament when you're preparing for the exam, you will get some wisdom when you're preparing for the exam. And then outcome is overrated. A lot of times we are just focused on the outcome, ye karna hai, wo karna hai, aise achieve karna hai. No, the process is underrated. It is the process that is important. And in UPSC exam, this process is very important. A lot of times we forget how important is the process of figuring out how to study, what to study, when to study. All these things are more important. In fact, what you are studying, how to revise that, how to make notes about that, all these are the things that we have to figure out, obviously through a lot of guidance that I give you, or any other person on YouTube is giving you. Through that also you can learn. But what matters is that you are realistic, you are putting in the hard work, you are not doing nonsense things. For example, waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning and studying. Those things are not going to matter. What is going to matter is how consistent you are every day. Are you doing normal human things that you require to do? You can wake up at 8 a.m. in the morning, study till evening in the 8 till 8 p.m. with breaks around 8 to 9 hours in a day. Revise, make your notes properly. Whenever you're not making notes, absorb that information, how you're absorbing the information, what you're learning when you're actually doing your studies. Then what are the important topics, are you covering those properly? All these are the important things that I talk a lot about. These are the part of the process. So let me break down the process a little bit for you today. See, when you are preparing for UPSC, the process means, what does the process mean? The process means that number one, what are the kind of sources you are studying from? So your classic sources is one set of sources, your books like Lakshmikant, your answer writing book, your um, art and culture book, all these classic books everyone uses and you have to use them. So these 15-20 books you have to study, your optional books you have to study. But beyond that, you will also need to put in your own effort in doing the research when you are studying, let's say, some topic. Let's say today I am studying a topic on inflation or interest rates, and I'm not quite understanding from the book what is the relation between the interest rates and inflation. Then I go online and do a little bit of my own research. I go online and look at the video from some good sources that are being put there on YouTube. That is the biggest strength of the internet. Everything is available out there for you to study from for free, and good sources. Some of the best sources are available out there. Now you don't have to go and do PhD in every topic, but you go and study and understand some of the nuances which UPSC requires, and after that you come back and add this knowledge to your existing thing that you are studying. So that way you form a 360-degree view, you understand the concept. That is very, very important. You understand the concept, and after that you can move forward. See, whether you take n number of coaching classes, whether you do anything else, whether you pick up 5 books instead of 1 book, 2 books, this kind of process is very important. You have to put in this hard work where you are doing your own research, you are doing your own studies. Every UPSC aspirant, successful one, has to do this much work. You cannot just study from the books and hope to qualify for UPSC. You cannot just study from the books and keep rereading them. What is the point of rereading them if you are not understanding them, if you are not getting the concept behind them? If you are getting the concept behind them after rereading them, that's fine. But if you are not getting the concept, and therefore in the process you are not able to find the answers for the PYQs that are being asked you from you, then what is the point of actually doing this whole exercise? So lot of aspirants also ask me, sir, मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, whether should I read it twice, thrice, what should I do? The simplest check of your progress is doing the PYQs. Whenever you have studied a subject properly, go back to the PYQs, previous year questions or some test series, and do some questions from that particular subject. And if you are getting those questions correct, that means you are on the right direction. But if you are getting those correct questions incorrect, that means you are missing somewhere and you are probably having some kind of a problem in your studies, and you will have to revisit that concept. You have to realign your strategy in order to understand that particular concept. So that is the way you keep checking yourself whether the process that you are following is correct or not. So one thing I am telling you is about the process, the other thing is about checking. The feedback loop has to be there during the process to understand where you are going is right or wrong. I will give you an example. My optional was management. So when I used to study management subject, lot of times I used to be not sure what topic I have studied, whether I have studied it, and whether I will be able to answer the questions from it in the actual exam, in the mains exam. So what I used to do is I went to the 3-4 years old management papers. I wrote down the questions. I took out the questions from that particular topic. Let's say I'm reading operations management or statistics, and I need to do hypothesis testing questions. So I took out some of the old hypothesis testing questions, and I did solve them. And that way I figured, okay, I'm able to solve this level of particular questions. Now the next challenge for me was, can I solve higher level questions also? So I would solve some higher level questions from the book itself. So that way I would know, okay, you know, I am able to solve questions that are coming in the management paper from hypothesis testing of the level that have come in the exam, and some higher level also. So that way I feel more prepared. For you also, if you are, let's say, studying sociology as a subject or anthropology as a subject, study 3-4 topics, go back to the old papers, do some of those answer writing challenges yourself by looking at the previous year questions, evaluate yourself, ask someone else to evaluate you, and then after that compare yourself if you are able to do a little bit higher level questions, and that way you will know whether you are in the right direction or not. So this feedback loop that is created by you, that is used by you to test yourself, is very, very important for the UPSC exam. So now getting back to the process, like I said, it is very important that Whenever you are reading the concepts, you are able to test yourself, and you are able to know that the process is not just about finishing the sources, but also going to alternative sources to make sure that your foundations are strong, your concepts are strong. That is very, very important in the UPSC preparation. Now, the next thing I want to highlight, when you are preparing for the UPSC, a lot of times you will not feel any improvement for a lot of time. Let's say you are reading any book and you have read the book half, but you are very confused, and a lot of time this happens and you are not sure कि मेरी progress कितनी हुई है. You are not in fact able to even recover any information that you have read. You have not understood much things, you have just read through it and that's it. And that will happen, that's fine. Don't get discouraged by this process. Don't get discouraged and leave that book and then think that I will not be able to clear, I am not able to understand anything. These frustrations will happen. The thing you need to do is you need to go back, reread it 3 times, 4 times until you understand that concept. And that rereading is very, very important, because when you reread, then only that your curve will start moving upwards a little bit. See, what happens is initially your curve will be flat. You are learning, time is passing, but you are not learning exponentially, you are not understanding things. So like curve is like this, but eventually one day, after rereading, after revisiting, after using some internet sources, you actually break that block that you had in your mind. This curve will happen and you will actually suddenly start learning a lot faster and a lot more. And that is how you are supposed to learn things. All right. So I wanted to focus on the process today. I wanted to tell you that number one, don't worry about not understanding the sources when you reread it, when you use other alternative sources online to view a topic from a 360 degree point of view, then you will learn and then you will see the results. Number one. Number two, the process is very, very important. You have to understand the process. Number three, the curve is going to look like this, but suddenly it will rise like this once you start getting the topic. Okay. Finally, what I want to tell you is, see, UPSC process is something like a compound interest, a compounding thing. You know, like James Clear book, 1% every day eventually adds up and then you suddenly spike in your performance. Similarly, there's a book called Joys of Compounding by Gautam Baid, in which he talks about how slow, small efforts eventually add up. UPSC is like that. In UPSC preparation, things will seem very tough, they will seem very impossible, but small efforts will eventually add up. But you have to be very, very conscious, you have to be very smart about these efforts that you are putting in, so that you are able to realize these efforts. You can't be just reading something and just leaving it like that. Testing yourself, seeing where you are standing, understanding the concept properly, all these things are very, very important for you to really get the gist of the concepts properly. So hopefully this video today will help you in your UPSC journey. Let me know if you have any questions. More than happy to answer in the comments. Thanks, take care, and let's continue the learning journey together. Bye-bye.